Okay, we are back right where we started, and this video is going to walk you through how to take these student questions that you've collected using a Google form and use an add-on to Google Chrome called Autocrat to change those questions into a physical paper and pencil test. It's going to be a Google document, so you could send it out digitally as well. I guess I should probably make that clear, but in this case, I'm anticipating this is something that's printable for you to share with your students. We're also going to make an answer key, so that's kind of fun. I really like Autocrat, so I'm excited to share it with you. But first, I have to share this document with my other Gmail account that I allow access to Autocrat with. If you are having any problems finding Autocrat or getting it installed, there are videos linked where I talk you through that process, so I'm not going to show that here. I'm going to assume you already have that installed. So I'm going to click on Share ERC Certificates is the one that I want to send it to. I want it to be an editor on there. That's permission I'm going to need. So if this was set to viewer or commenter, you're going to want to change it to editor and then send. I should now be able to just copy this link, go over where I'm already logged in my incognito browser as ERC certificates, and open it up. So here we are. I can see that I'm looking at it in the other window, but me as ERC certificates is on here as well. So as I said, I'm assuming that you already have Autocrat installed. So if you go to extensions, you should see it on this list down here. If not, you can go up to add-ons and get add-ons and go from there. I'm going to go Autocrat launch. It's going to take a second, but not too bad. It should tell me that I don't have any forms for this one. Sorry, merge jobs. So I'm going to start a new merge job. And as soon as I start the new merge job, I'm realizing I haven't set up a template. I have, but I want to walk you through the process. So I'm going to close out of this because I need to make a template. And showing you how to make a template is a cool thing to do. I've got some set up already, but like I said, I'm going to make new ones for you. So this is going to be student quiz is going to be the title that I give to it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up tags in this document. And what Autocrat recognizes as a tag is double angle brackets with text inside. So I'm going to set this up as like a blank quiz. And so the first thing I'm going to want is question number. It doesn't matter what you name these. You don't have to make them the same thing as the columns of your spreadsheet. Autocrat's going to link those columns to these things. So this just needs to be in language where you'll understand what needs to go where. So question number, and then I'm going to put a period after it. And then I'm going to put double angle brackets again. Let me make this a little bigger. Yeah. Question text. And close those double angle brackets. I'm realizing if I'm going to print this, I probably want the kids to have space to write an answer. So I'm just going to put some underscores in front of the question number so that they know to write the answer in the blank. Will they write it there instead of circling? Some will, but just, giving them the format, the option. Now, this is where I messed up when I was doing my test one, so I'm going to practice that here. You'll notice that when you type a period and then space, or if you tabbed in and hit a period and space, it automatically starts numbering a list. That's not what you want. If you do that, every time it makes a new question, it's going to continue that lettering or numbering process. So what you want is you want to tell it, no, don't do it like that. Hit delete as soon as you see that happen, and it should fix it. So it's in the right thing. And you'll notice that it is not highlighting a numbered list over here. I know that's a really small spot on the computer, but this is just me auto formatting a list, and it's really making me have uppercase letters when I don't want them. So I'm just hitting Command Z or Control Z to undo that. So again, if I just type in A and then space it over, you'll notice that this lights up blue over here, and then every time, sorry, if I'm typing something, it'll auto complete those and keep going for me. You don't want to do that. So you want to make sure that you do not have a bulleted list here. You do want answer choices here though, and so that means more angle brackets. So I'm just going to write the letters by here, and that should be easy enough for me to remember what I meant with that there. That's all you want to do. You don't want to put in any other like text on this page, because whatever you put in here, it's going to copy every time, like for each question. So you want to leave it like that. I'm actually curious what it does with headers. So I'm going to go ahead and put like a name. Oh, my window's too big. I'm too far over. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to put a name blank over here. I don't know what it's going to do. So you're coming with me on this journey very authentically to see if this is something that we want. And I'm going to click, I'm going to copy this first, different first page, and paste it in there. And then I'm going to realize that it's going to have it on the second page's name because I typed it in before I clicked. Anyway, it's dumb. Don't worry about it. So my point is, I want my kids to write the name on the paper. I don't know whether this is going to work or not. You'll see if it does or if it doesn't as soon as I do. Okay, so this is our template. This is an important step to set up because when we run Autocrat, it's going to really quickly ask us for our template, and we're not going to be able to get past that step or save our progress until we tell it where our template is. So remember what you named it. Remember where it is in your Google folder or architecture, and let's head on over to Autocrat and see what's going on. So once again, I'm going to go to Extensions. I'm going to go to Autocrat, Launch. And we're ready this time. We're going to start a new job, and we're going to give that job a name, and this one is going to be Student Quiz. Coincidentally, the same thing I named the Google document that is going to be the student quiz, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I'm going to choose a template. I guess I could have created an example in here, but I like knowing where it's putting my stuff, and I'm not sure I could do it that way. Student quiz shows up because I have mine set up so that the latest document is the one that is at the front of the list. So I know that's the one I want. And it says fetching tags. I know that went by really fast, but tags, remember, are those things that we put in double angle brackets. If I didn't mess it up, no guarantees. So you'll see here, everything that I put in double angle brackets, it has populated in here, and it's asking what column it maps to. If you have multiple tabs, which you probably don't, it probably just says inform responses 1. You can change that here. It actually is a good idea to, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this, just in case I mess some stuff up with Autocrat. Entirely possible that I might. So again, to do that duplication, let me make my little magnifying glass. Nope, there we go. If I go down here where it says form responses 1 and click on this little list, one of the things in the list is duplicate. And so if I click on duplicate, it's going to make a copy of those responses and just show up in there. Doesn't have a very smart naming system. I have copy of form responses 1 and copy of form responses 1.1. Not what I wanted, but you get the idea there. That's just my backup in case I mess this up. Autocrat can be weird. If it's already run a job on data, it won't rerun it. That's fantastic if you're sending out a bunch of emails to people and you don't want to spam them with emails every time you rerun the job, but it's not great if you mess something up and you want to start fresh. So making a copy of that data is something I should have done before now, but have better habits than me. Okay, so here we have the question number. And remember, on our student quiz, that's just going to be the first thing the student sees. That's going to come from the column that we added where we put in that formula that just says starts with 1 and then it's the cell above plus 1 all the way down. And that's going to be question number. Okay. Question text, looking at the student quiz, is what the text of the question is. And that maps to this question where the students type your multiple choice question. A is our answer choice A. So again, these are going to be the student ones. I messed this up with just one of these last time where I pulled in one of these corrects that I had down here. Make sure you're choosing the answer choices that the students input, not which ones are correct. Otherwise, when you generate questions, you're going to have gaps on some of them because it's going to be pulling things that don't exist. If it happens to line up where you got a correct answer and that's the column, you might not notice it if you have just a few like I do. Um, but if you've got anything where you're like, why did that not come through? Why is there a blank on B? Check this. This is probably where the mistake happened. Okay, so we've mapped something to each of our tags in the document. We have our answer choices, we have our question, we have our question number, and we're going to go next. This part is important. We're going to give it a name. So this is November student quiz. It could be, biology. It could be whatever. You get the idea there. We have the option of this being a Google Doc or a PDF. I want it to be a Google Doc because this is going to be where I do my last proofreading to make sure that students are spelling things correctly, that there aren't a bunch of duplicate questions or something like this. I can edit it afterwards if I make it a Google document. It's a little bit harder to edit a PDF. Now, this is also super important down here. Multiple output mode would mean that each question is its own Google document, and that's not what I want. I want single output mode. That's going to put all of these questions in the same document. Add page breaks between data rows. No. Okay, I don't want each question on its own page. If you do, more power to you. I do not. So I'm going to just make that real big for a second. We give it a name that we like and will remember. It's going to be a Google Doc. We're going to output it as single output mode because we want all of our questions to be in a single document. And we are not going to add page breaks between rows. Okay. This destination folder is important so you can find it. It's more important when you have something that's outputting multiple data files. Like we've got our certificate system at the ERC set up to run this way. And so if I do a workshop and I have 30 people attend and fill out the survey, then I've got 30 certificates that are cluttering up whatever folder unless I've remembered to point to a folder where I could be like, oh, I could just ignore that unless there's an issue. But ready or not demos is where I want it to be. You can get rid of that choice and choose a different folder if you want to, if you don't like what it's defaulted to. But that's not a huge deal for this. We're going to ignore this one. I'm just going to click next on step 6. Set merge condition. I'm going to say yes on this one. And I don't think I need to, but I'm just going to be extra careful. So it autofills with timestamp equals not null. And null is the only thing it's checking for. So basically, what it's doing is it's saying, okay, I'm only going to treat this row of the spreadsheet as something I need to pay attention to if the column timestamp is not null. Timestamp is only going to have something in it if someone filled out a quiz response, and it's going to be associated with, like, every quiz response is going to have something associated with it. So this I don't think I need, but just in case, is just saying, okay, don't put in a bunch of blank questions on my quiz, right? Only put in a question on my quiz if it's got data associated with it, if there's a timestamp. Again, I don't think it's necessary, but we're going to be extra careful. Share documents and send emails. I'm not going to do that. You could set it up to have this, like, send out a copy of the quiz to everyone, but you would have had to collect emails for that, and that's a whole other thing that I'm not going to go into here. Happy to do it if you reach out and let me know that that's something that you would be interested in. Okay, this one is the last step, so we're almost there. We're almost done. Run on form trigger. Run on time trigger. I'm leaving both of these as no. If I ran on form trigger, that would mean that every time a kid put in an answer, it would go in and update the update the sheet. And that's not what I want. Run on time trigger is the same thing. I want to be the one in control of when this thing runs. I'm going to go in and manually say, okay, I've given the kids enough time to enter their questions. I'm going to run it now. Um, and then I'm going to click save, right? Normally I'd be clicking next, but that turned into back. So we're going to do save. Might take a second. And then the way that you manually run the form is you just click this play button. If you forget how to get there, you're just going up to extensions and Autocrat, clicking launch, and then your job will be sitting in there, okay? Takes it a second, but not too long. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to click that play button. When you click the play button, it's going to go through, it's going to come through the spreadsheet, and it's going to copy all of the things into your document. Okay, so if I click this little eyeball, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm going to go to my document here. I'm going to refresh. November student quiz, remember, was the one that I called it. And here we go. Name only showed up in the header, which is good. And I've got my questions. What's cool about crabs? And there's a space to write them. You'll notice because I made sure to keep this from auto turning itself into a numbered list. I've got just A, B, C, D for all of these. I've got my answers. I can edit this document before I send it out. I could distribute it through Google Classroom. I could send it as an email attachment, or I could print it. If I am going to share this with kids, there's a way that you can, anyone with the link, these links are disabled for public view. That's not what I want. Okay, there's a way where you can set it up so that the Google document that you send out as a link forces people to make a copy of it. So if you're wanting to just email it to students, they would get a link and then it would pop up with a thing that says, before they even can see the quiz, it would just say like, make a copy of this, and they click yes, and they have their own copy that they can then edit and send back to you. Probably easier to do it other ways, but it is an option. So that's that. If you're happy with it, we're done. I will also show you how to set up an answer key if that's something that you're interested in. And so I'm going to do that now, but you can take off if you are not interested in an answer key, when you can just pull that column from the spreadsheet over here, right? Like, you've got it. Wouldn't have to do it. Okay. But let's assume that you do. I'm going to go back to Autocrat, literally the window I just closed, and I'm going to make a new job when it lets me. So down here in red, new job. This new job is going to be November. Oh, wow. November answer key. I'm going to click next. I'm going to create an example and see how that works. I haven't done that in a while. Maybe it doesn't work. Ooh, I hate it. No, yeah, that's not what you want to do. That create example just makes like this template demo thing. It's not what I want. Don't do that. One of the relatively few mistakes I've made this tutorial. Yes, I do want to delete that sheet. So don't do that. We're going to do from Drive, which means we have to go over to Drive and make one. And so a new Google document, we're going to call it answer key. I made this mistake earlier and I'm going to leave it in. I like typing something in here and then clicking up here in Google Documents, because whatever I type in here will autofill if this isn't already named, if it's untitled document. And so I typed it in and I left it like a fool. And I'll show you what happens. Question number. Same thing as before. I'm putting in those double angle brackets, the things that I'm going to want to populate. I'm including a punctuation mark and a space because I want punctuation after my number, because that's how I am. And then I'm going to say answer letter. I could have left it misspelled. It wouldn't have affected anything. I'm going to leave a space, and then I'm going to say answer words. Text would be more accurate, but whatever. So what is going to happen when I run this as a sheet. Just a little bit of prediction of how this is going to automate for me when I go in there. Let's see if you got the thing right. So now I can go to From Drive. It should be the first thing on here. Oh, I don't think that's it. I don't think I wanted to say answer key. I think I called it. Oh no, I did absolutely call it answer key. Just kidding, folks. So, answer key, again, it's the newest thing that has been created in my Google Drive, so it's the first one. That's the one I want. Next, question number. So I'm going to go down to question number. That is super small. Okay, so question number maps to column question number. Answer letter maps to where the student told me which answer is correct. And then answer words is going to be that column all the way at the end that I did all that work for that says correct answer. So on here, it's going to be that one where it pulls in whichever correct A, correct B, correct C, correct D, whichever of those is correct is going to show up over here. You'll notice that Autocrat creates some columns over here. This is just what it needs to do to run correctly. It's also where you can find your documents just from in here. If you click on this, it'll take you to the quiz. It's a little bit goofy when we have a single output because it's showing you the exact same link every single row of your spreadsheet. It makes more sense when you have single output or when you have multiple outputs, like where each thing would be its own certificate or each thing would be its own page. Okay, so let's get cracking here. We're almost done. Oh, I hit back. It remembered my answers though, so that's nice. Demo merge. No, I don't want it to call it that. I don't know why that's auto populated. So this is going to be November answer key. I want it to be a Google document. Again, I want it to be single output mode. I do not want page breaks between rows. I do not want each page on my document to say what question number it is, the letter, and then the words, and then I have to flip to a different page. So I want them all on a single page, not 8 different documents if I have 8 different questions. I don't want page breaks between rows. I don't want that folder, so let's put that folder in the trash. It's not going to delete it on my computer, I'm 90% sure, but it will delete it as an option. So choose folder, and then you're not going to double click on it like I did. You're just going to click on it one time and then hit select if you want to move it somewhere else. Okay, we don't care about step 6. I'm not going to do merge conditions on this one. This is where I said, okay, check the timestamp. I don't think it's going to do anything, but we'll see. It might give me a bunch of questions because there is something in the question number column that goes all the way to 99. So if we end up with 3 questions that have text and 99 that don't, well, you know what I mean. 90, 96. Um, we'll just know that we do need to put that one in there. Okay, that'll be a fun test. I don't want to share the document or send emails. And I want to leave these triggers as no because I'm going to automatically run, or I'm sorry, I'm going to manually run this. I don't want to automatically run. Saving the job. That's weird. Did I not? Ooh. I'm going to edit this. This is answer key. I'm wondering if something weird happened. This looks good. Okay. It's weird. It's because I clicked that automatic thing. Don't click that. What is this about? Okay, so if that tag thing shows up, it means that you've messed something up, and so we're gonna double check in here. This is my problem. Okay, the thing that I did where I clicked it to create a template instead of saying find the template I already made, thinking that maybe it would just pop up with a new Google Doc for me to type things in, but that was not what it did. It also changed my merge tab, and so now things are messed up. I want form responses 1, not copy of form responses 1. So I'm going to switch it to that, and it should fix it. I'm not sure why it gave me these options, but it did, and that caused me problems. Okay. Whew, that's a pretty easy one to troubleshoot. So now I don't have that tag there, and I do have this option to hit play and create my answer key. Let's see what happens, and let's see if your prediction was correct. You see that it's creating another set of columns over here. That is what it does. So what that means is that every job you create is going to add another 4 columns at the end of your spreadsheet, just going off into there. And you see it is running one for all of those 99 questions. I should have put in the timestamp thing. So I can, from in here, click and see what happened. So you'll notice that it says answer key 99 times because I had answer key typed in at the top here. When we're creating our templates, anything we put in here is going to be copied every single time. So you don't want to have something like answer key in here unless you want to see answer key every single time, like in front of every question. But it did do what I needed it to do, which was to give me these answers. I don't love that I've got now 99 of these, but the fun part of this being a Google document is I can just go in and delete all this nonsense. Um, if you were following along with me and I led you astray by putting an answer key, I'll show you how to fix that now. We're going to use find and replace, or whatever they call it on here. It is find and replace, and it tells us the key command. We're going to find answer key, and we're going to replace with nothing. Let's replace with a space. No, let's try it without. Let's try it with absolutely nothing in there. I'm going to hit replace all. It gets rid of all of them. So if I led you down the wrong direction and you're irritated with me, I hope that that's at least an easy way to be unirritated with me. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to show you using Autocrat. I love that plugin. It does some really cool stuff, but this is an easier way where you can take that form data, pull it into a spreadsheet, do some manipulation, and then actually create a quiz from the text that your students have provided to you. Editable document, hopefully pretty easy. Um, if you're interested in a solution that creates a Google form from the Google Sheet, you're welcome to watch that video as well and see how to take this same spreadsheet and instead of turning it into a Google document, turn it into a new form that takes the answers the students gave you and the questions the students gave you and populates a new form with it. That'll be up next.